here, also streaming live on the, let's see, Ryan's trying to show me something. Let me see what that says. We are talking about Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube live video, and also streaming live on the TuneIn app. So we've done everything we can that you can get us anytime, anywhere. And I do have a little adjustment on some traffic. There is an accident at 111th Street. I wonder if that's what Omar is calling about. Omar, what's going on out there, buddy?
Hey, bud, nothing. That's what I was calling you about. When I was pulling, made a right turn right there on Ridge Road, Klein Avenue, the police were showing up. It's a three-car. It's the stoplight there. It's two cars and a pickup truck. I think they just hit each other pretty bad. I think the pickup truck was running kind of a little fast and stopped and hit two cars.
So you're talking northbound on Klein Avenue at that light where the gas station is?
No, it's the one beyond that one. The one that you're ready to go off of on 8094.
Okay, right before the exit then.
Yeah, it's right there. It must have turned red, and that pickup truck must have been going fast, and he couldn't stop it. He hit the car, and that car hit the car in front of him.
Yeah, it's kind of
the police just showed up.
Yeah, Omar, it's kind of dark in that area. You know, at this hour, it always struck me as why aren't there more lights in that area? So, all right.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
Thanks, Omar. Talk to you. All right, so that's northbound on Klein Avenue. Klein Avenue. If you're from the region, how do you say it? Do you say Klein Avenue or do you say Klein Avenue? You kind of throw it into your nose, kind of like when Kenny Angotti calls in. And he's like, I grew up on the east side. Nice. You know, and he throws it into his nasal. That is the difference between when you grew up on the east side or when you grew up on the east side. You know what I'm saying? You throw it into your nose a little bit. Hey, what are you doing? Way to go. Get that frost off your car, huh? Wow, that was frost on that car. It's chilly, my friends. I went out yesterday and had a great time at Dowling Park. I announced the Purdue Northwest women's softball game, the first one, and that was a 4-2 loss to Saginaw Valley State. And then I had to leave to go to my nephew Jack's 11th birthday party, and Jimmy Mulaney came in and announced the second game. Thanks a lot to Autumn Martinez, a student in my sports broadcasting class. She showed up and sat with me. Otherwise, I was going to have to announce the whole thing by myself. Ben Cowart and Nick Hedrick were also on the production team. So I noticed that about 2,200 of you have watched that thing. So that's pretty crazy. I didn't think there'd be that much of an audience. And the second game was a little less. But I will tell you this, that if you are into women's softball, if you've got a team, say you've got a team at any level, take them out to watch Purdue Northwest play. Maybe if you want to bring your whole team, maybe they'll cut you a deal or something. But they brought in Saginaw Valley State, which is Division II softball, and they had an excellent left-handed pitcher. And that game was as tight of a softball game as I've seen. Purdue Northwest basically lost the game on missing a couple pop-ups, believe it or not. And part of it was that there's just so much wind. It was so cold yesterday. I think it was 34 degrees with a 22-mile-an-hour wind off of Lake Michigan. And I froze my ass off. And I went home and I put the Gotchis on, courtesy of Paul from Hassie. I put the Gotchis on, and I put my snow boots on, and I brought out my Columbia coat, the Arctic Ready coat. And then by the fourth or fifth inning, I'm just, you're just cold, man. And then Autumn hadn't brought any gloves, so I had to give her my gloves. And it was just a cold experience. But I'll tell you what, it was a sunny experience. And Division II softball in the GLIAC Conference, I went and did the game, partly because it was a historic game. It was the first ever Division II GLIAC women's softball game. And what's her name? Katso. I forgot her first name. Katso of Munster High. She hit a home run for Purdue Northwest, but it wasn't enough. They lost 4-2. I think in a second game they may have lost 9-2. So it's amazing softball at a level that if you like watching the NCAA softball tournament on ESPN, there really isn't There's no noticeable difference in the level of play from Division I to Division II softball. Maybe a little bit different if you go to NAIA or Division III. I played Division III baseball and traveled all over California and maybe a little bit into Arizona. And we were below Division II and I. But looking from below, from Division III, we would be the beat-up team. Played USC, UCLA, San Diego State, Cal State Fullerton, Arizona State, I think. And we would travel in, and we were just like for them to let their second stringers play and then beat us by 10 to 12 runs. And I did not notice any difference between Division II, good Division II teams, and your average Division I team. Now, UCLA was a little bit better. When I was there, they had that one shortstop who went on to play for the Braves. I forget his name. And then they had, I saw a guy throwing 99 miles an hour. Once you see a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, you're a different person. And you can only see that really at the highest level of Division I. But for the most part, there's not that much difference. So if you guys are interested in coming out and seeing some amazing softball, come on out to Dowling Park. Tomorrow, Friday at 5 o'clock, I'll be at Buffalo Wild Wings to host a coaches show between Nikki Stanzel will be there from the women's softball team, and Dave Griffin will be there also. He is the baseball coach for Purdue Northwest. And just come out and get a beer or, get some wings or get a salad, whatever it might be. Come on out to Buffalo Wild Wings and support Purdue Northwest because 15% of your bill can go back to the athletic department. All right, what else is going on around the Calumet region? There's Mark Zuckerberg took a media tour yesterday. I don't know if you guys hold on a sec. We got Bob with traffic. Let's go to Bob on line 599. Let's see what he's talking about. Hey, Bob, how are you, man?
Doing good, Jimmy. Hey, it's not horrible, but on the Bishop Ford, I'm heading into the city, and you get 130th Street, you go from 60 miles an hour to 6 real fast. There's an accident on the outbound Bishop Ford right at 115th Street, basically underneath that overpass, 115th Street. And everybody's hitting the brakes to look at it and leaving the city. I mean, it's just all jacked up.
All right, so Bob, I was looking at the chart, and I kind of lost you a little bit as these big trucks came by, but I was looking at the chart right at 111th, 115th. It said that the accident was going into the city. You're saying it's actually coming out of the city?
Yeah, it's coming out of the city. Definitely in the outbound lane, but everybody's slowing down to look at it. It was the car pretty mangled up. They got it on a record, but a lot of flashing lights, so everybody's got to stop and look. So, like I said, when you're going on the Bishop Ford into the city, I mean, you're flying till you hit 130th Street. Like I said, you go from 60 to 6 miles an hour real fast.
Hey, Bob, should President Trump have called Putin?
Under the circumstances, I would say probably not. I mean, the guy's basically got a rigged election. Russians seem to be responsible for a lot of murders, poisonings of people that he doesn't like. Actually, I probably would have ignored the whole scenario. Probably just carried on my day as if he didn't exist. It probably would have made a bigger impression if he had just kind of ignored the whole thing. So, no, I don't think he should have called them at all, really.
Yeah, they're looking into having an investigation of how that leaked out of the office that he and Putin called there. But Trump came back saying, well, what's so bad about having good relations with Russia? And, on the surface, that makes sense.
Well, I mean, look what's going on with, well, it hasn't happened yet, but we're supposed to have a sit-down with North Korea. I mean, nobody saw that one coming. I mean, it still may not happen, but I mean, even his most ardent detractors have got to say, sit down with the North Koreans. That's a step in the right direction. Putin's Putin is the one that scares the hell out of me. They're running around basically assassinating people, poisoning people. I mean, that's old school KGB stuff.
Yeah, that's one thing you do have to worry about. Hey, thanks for beeping. All right, Bob, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. I'm gonna
big truck, big truck.
Big truck! Another one. They're everywhere. I don't know, when we designed these studios, I kind of had to fight a little bit with Superior Engineering and with the Purdue Northwest building people, just a little bit, because I'm like, oh, they wanted to orient the studio there that way. I said no. They're like, oh well, no one wants to see a bunch of trucks going down. Big truck going down Indianapolis Boulevard. That is not the case. Let me tell you, it is beautiful when you're able to watch me on the radio. On Facebook or Twitter or YouTube and see all these massive trucks leaving the mills and leaving the refineries, leaving the equipment suppliers, the finishing mills, the machine shops, the garbage trucks, you name it, coming southbound on Indianapolis Boulevard in the morning as they're just going on to do their business. I mean, we are made on industry. Well, let's highlight it. And there's times when and there's a huge concrete truck going by. Willie. I never seen Willie Concrete. W-I-L-L-E. You've got an ALL Transport. It's a big box truck. Who knows where they're going? It's beautiful in its own way. What else is going on, huh? Well, here locally, I haven't read the article. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to look and see what the Times says. But it looks like the Indiana State Police may be investigating the Facebook situation. And with political shenanigans going on in the sheriff's race. Then you also have a possible investigation coming up of Anthony Higgs, perhaps electioneering on county time. And I'll tell you what, man, it's just the beginning of things, as you also see it straight across the state line. I don't know if you guys listened to any of the rhetoric coming out of Governor Rauner and his challenger, J.B. Pritzker. They are just ripping him. Rauner is just calling Pritzker all sorts of names, and then it's going back and forth. So not only are we going to see each personally probably see about 212 commercials from the both sides together over your lifetime here in the summer and into the fall, we will, maybe it'll be higher than that. But they're looking to spend $300 million between the two billionaires to get that job as a governorship. I don't know what in the hell is so attractive about that position that you would spend that kind of money. Hey, what's going on? Thanks for beeping. But they're set to do it. Anyways, they started to talk about Mark Zuckerberg taking a tour. And if you guys in there can find some clips of Mark Zuckerberg, maybe about a minute long on somewhere, a video clip. And he is out there talking about they have to make changes. Facebook, as you guys have been watching, has dramatically lost a bunch of money. Part of it is just the general accusations that the Russians used Facebook to control the 2016 election, or to influence the 2016 election. And then the more recent revelation that the Trump campaign may have paid $6 million to Cambridge Analytica for personal information about 50 million of us, and used that information to help influence the 2016 election. And I have been telling you for some time that there is a problem in the system. I didn't quite know exactly how it was going to surface. I didn't predict that, but I have been bitching about the fact that radio and television are extremely regulated. If I go and I'm almost slip and say, look at that in person, then, I'm in all sorts of trouble. Or if I don't write down exactly what time, a political show came on and we went 3 minutes over, oh my God, you know what? We're going to take your underwear away. But the Russians can come in and do anything they want on Facebook. Politicians can do anything they want on Facebook. So there is when you have two things that essentially are making contact with the American people and roughly the same way, and one of them is extremely regulated and one is not regulated at all, you have an imbalance created. And in my mind, the biggest the effect of the imbalance is that radio and television continue, broadcast radio and broadcast television continue to lose impact in the world. And that, to me, is just glaring because I'm sitting in both worlds. I'm sitting on the precipice between Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube video. And then I'm on the other side, I'm on traditional radio. And I can tell you this, I wrote a blog post last night called Radio I Love You. Go check it out at jimdeedlow.com. That I don't know what to do about that. In that if it is so regulated on one side and it's not regulated on the other, I may have to choose at one point to be like smart money and the Russians. And that is to go in that direction because there's a huge imbalance and it's created by regulation. Now, the very first time that I heard Mark Zuckerberg address the question of regulation was yesterday. He went on this media tour to hope, on his mind, I'm sure, to stem the losses in his stock. He's lost, what, over $10 billion? And the, you know, I got Mark, my buddy Mark keeps texting me and keeping me up to date on exactly how much Facebook is losing. And he went in and he said, all right, well, maybe we need to do some sort of regulation of social media sites. And I mean, I don't want over-regulation of Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube because I'm going that way. But I do want less regulation on what I'm doing now. And I know what's going to happen is the more I talk about this, we've had all these Russians that have tried to friend WJOB of late. And we've also, I believe that over time what will happen is if I'm talking about this topic that is not friendly to Facebook, it will ultimately maybe cost us some of our views as we won't be as high on the algorithm. And I get that. And there's a danger in that. But I got to tell you, folks, there's an imbalance. And it is causing problems in the country. It's not just me bitching because I got to do all this regulation and I got to pay for all these things. I mean, I don't even want to go into the list of all the things that I have to do and pay for that Facebook does not have to do or pay for. And that's why that's, you know, was just me bitching, saying, all right, you shouldn't do that because it's anti-competitive and it hurts my ability to sell radio. Okay. And I don't even care anymore because we're going so far and so fast into streaming video. I don't know if I'm even going to talk about it anymore because that's where all the new money is going. I had a guy come in yesterday, an old guy from East Chicago, older guy, and he talked like East Chicago. And I told him, and he told me his name, and I remember the name somewhere. And I wish that guy would call me or text me or let me know what his name was. But he comes in and he goes, I listen to you every morning. I'm like, all right. He goes, yeah, I'm from East Chicago. And I'm like, really? Where you live now? I live in Cherville. He goes, yeah, I listen to you. And he goes, but I want to see you. And I'm like, what do you mean you want to see me? He goes, I want to see you. How do you do that Facebook? I want to see it. So I told him, I go, hey, you can do it. You got to start a Facebook account. And then you got to just go to the WJOB website and click that F way at the top, and it'll lead you there. Or you can just put Facebook on your phone and type in WJOB at the top, and you'll be able to watch me. He's like, really? I want to see you standing out there on Indianapolis Boulevard like I'm doing right now. And that made me feel good the rest of the day. I'm like, man, this old guy gets it. And he says it, he doesn't say East Chicago. He says East Chicago. East Chicago. Like E and then she, caw. East Chicago. So anyways, what else is going on? You know what? I'm going to go inside right now. Ryan's waving for me. We do have some traffic on the inbound Bishop Ford at 111th. That's backing things up, as you heard from Bob. Also, thanks to Omar for calling that in on the wreck at Klein Avenue, northbound, right before you go on to the Borman. So any updates on that, either text us to 219-845-1100 or give me a call at 219-845-1100. Thanks a lot to Hassey Construction for giving me this great safety gear and keeping me warm out here on Indianapolis Boulevard. And also, thank you to Ironworkers Local 395. They build stuff. I'm Jim Diedlow, the voice and face of the region. Click!
Yeah, so I think it's hard to fully assess.
Given the stakes here, why shouldn't Facebook be regulated?
I actually am not sure we shouldn't be regulated. I think in general, technology is an increasingly important trend in the world, and I actually think the question is more, what is the right regulation rather than yes or no, should it be regulated?
Fill your garage with your dream car during the Honda Dream Garage Spring event going on now at Napleton's River Oaks Honda. They're Northwest Indiana's destination for new and certified pre-owned Hondas. Napleton's River Oaks Honda has a huge selection of brand new and certified pre-owned Civics, Accords, CRVs, and Pilots. Come find out why you always get our best deal at River Oaks Honda. As always, Indiana residents pay Indiana sales tax right off 8094 on Torrance Avenue or online at riveroakshonda.com.
Napleton, second to none since 1931.
Ironworkers Local 395, through their contractor employers, the Northwest Indiana Contractors Association, are the workers you see building Northwest Indiana. They are the craftsmen building your schools, hospitals, malls, steel mills, and manufacturing plants. They support local charities, including Tradewinds and Chasing Dreams, and they coach your kids after work and on the weekend. They live, work, and contribute to all of our local communities' economic growth. To find out more about these organizations, visit ironworkers395.com or nwicontractors.org.
As the preacher once said, the best kept secret in Lake County, Spike's Lakeside Inn 2, restaurant and bar, Cherville, Indiana, serving seafood at its finest, Lenten specials, also a full sandwich and dinner menu, homemade soups with full salad bar. For your adult dining in a comfortable atmosphere, come join us at Spike's Lakeside 2, located at 21 East Joliet Street, Cherville, Indiana, next to the police station across from Town Hall. For reservations, call 322-4444, serving Thursday through Sunday. Remember, 25% off your dining bill on Thursdays and Sundays. Follow us on Facebook. Hope to see you at Spike's Lakeside 2.
Elmwood Casket Company in Hammond and Cherville offers over 100 American-made caskets, up to 60% less expensive than area funeral homes, along with a wide selection of burial vaults and cremation urns. Our company is licensed by the state of Indiana and offers interest-free pre-arrangement plans. Call Mike at 219-844-7009 or visit elmwoodcaskets.com for pricing. Remember, you do have options to prevent overpaying at the funeral home. Elmwood Casket Company.
Yeah, who wants to overpay at the funeral home? Mike Gozdecki. You don't realize what Gozdecki's doing in the casket business right around the corner here at Elmwood Cemetery and Elmwood Casket. And he'll sell you the casket directly. You don't realize the markup at the funeral home that you get on that. And so when you're sitting there, somebody dies, you say, "Hey, listen, hold on a second. What I want you to do is I want to go buy the casket directly from Mike Gozdecki, and then the funeral home person will give you some sort of song and dance, and that's okay. And you might want to go with it because you're, in that time of need and so forth, but." As far as I understand it, he's disrupting the casket business around here. And anytime somebody's disrupting a market, it usually means that you're getting a better deal. Hey, it's 6:03 in the Calumet region. Let's take a look at traffic. Brought to you by Napleton River Oaks Honda. 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west looks good. The Bishop Ford up the gut of the Southland has an outbound accident at about 115th. And you've got a little bit of gapers going northbound, but it's really not that bad. So I don't really have that big Watson Bishop Ford out there for you. Skyway Toll Road, Borman, I-65, US 30, and Klein Avenue are all moving along pretty darn well. And let's take a look at the weather. It is right now 26 degrees here at the Strachan Van Til Studios. Don't forget it's Strax this week. Maxwell House, the big ones, the 31-ounce Wake Up Roast big canisters are only $5.99 each. And then Sargento cheese, the shredded cheese, you can get 2 of those big packages for $4. High of 46 today, mostly sunny and chilly. Tonight it gets down into, 26, right where we're at right now. And then tomorrow, sun's giving way to some clouds on Friday. Should be a nice morning. And then later in the day, it could get cloudy. And then into Saturday, we're looking most of the snow. The big snow will actually be to the south of this metropolitan area. Down in Newton and Jasper counties, as much as 6 inches down there. But maybe right up here by the lake, where it's going to be a lot cooler by the lake on Saturday, a high of only 36 degrees with some snow. We have a doubleheader planned for PNW baseball. I don't know if that's going to get played. Maybe they're going to play an extra game on Friday and maybe pick something up on Sunday, because Sunday you got a good day, partly sunny and a high of 45. And like I said, man, college baseball and softball at a high level has come to Dowling Park. And I could not be more excited. I'll talk about that in just a minute. And local 599 phone line has Fernando. Fernando, what have you been doing with your life?
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
I'm doing all right, man.
It's been working and living, man.
Still working in the city?
Still taking the train, yeah.
How do you like that?
I'm used to it. I'm good with it. I get out a little bit earlier now, so I'm fine.
Do you
so
find...
If you want to build the extension, build the extension. I don't care.
Do you find that taking the train, if you do it right, can actually be a moment of, not relaxation, but a little cool down from the day on the way home?
Yeah. I mean, read the paper or whatever. Just take a little nap on the way home. So I'm fine with it, It's not as big of a hassle as some people make it out to be, but everyone's got their own way to look at it, so it doesn't matter to me.
I miss those times. I used to take the train home, and on the way home, I'd write my journal, or I'd read the paper, and I'd relax, and then by the time I got home, I'd be okay for the kids, And
right.
I don't get that pause in the day sometimes, and you got kind of make the pause, and that's a little bit more difficult. So, what's going on in your world?
Well, I was just listening to you say about Trump congratulating the Russians. I think it's pretty dumb of him to do it. I mean, they're already scrutinizing him the hell out of it, and to go and act like a little buddy and, oh, hey, man, congratulations, when it's never been a fair election. Even when they had elections for the first time there, it's kind of like, what are you doing, dude? But, it goes to his mentality. Is, he's just an idiot to begin with. But
you know what,
how
Fernando?
the Republicans still support this guy, I don't know. They've always been the enemy the past 70 years, 80 years, whatever it is. And even when they got rid of communism, it's still controlled by all the communist guys and anybody that was in the party and anyone connected. And, to say that we're going to be friends with these guys, it never really was that.
Fernando, what if there is nothing to the to Mueller investigation? What if Trump didn't do anything wrong?
Well, if he didn't do anything wrong, well, then everybody else in his orbit did. He would be the only one that didn't do anything wrong. I mean, there's tentacles in this investigation everywhere. It's just led to Kushner and his son and Manafort and Lewandowski. You can go on. And now there's tentacles going to the whole United Arab Emirates and the Arabs and the money coming in from them to his businesses and his political organization. It's like this is the most corrupt administration politician that I've ever seen. And people wanted to get somebody new in there, and they're not politicians, and they're not going to be corrupt, and he's his own man. And he was never his own man. He was always beholden to his money and how to get more of it, and whatever it took. And he was a very corrupt politician, and still is. I mean, a businessman. I'm sorry, it's almost the same thing sometimes, but he was very corrupt. His people that he dealt with were very corrupt. He's always been under investigation, in jail, well, not in jail, but in court for this or that. And the people he brought on board with him, like this, who was the finance guy? Not the finance guy. Cohen was probably the least corrupt and objectionable one of them that he got in there. Cohen, I always thought he had something, to him. And I didn't like Tillerson because he was an oil guy and this and that, but, he kind of had at least, some guts. So, and these other guys are just like, hey, we're just using this guy as a vehicle to get, what we want as well. I'm talking about the Treasury guy. Oh, that guy, when I first saw him, besides, I had a icky feeling about this guy, and he's just a turd himself, All the people around him are under investigation, are just despicable people. I don't know.
You've used a lot of adjectives in there. All right. Hey, Fernando, thanks for calling in. I'm going to take up some of the stuff you talked about. Talk to you.
All right, man.
Talk to you. And I will do that in just a moment. I don't know where to start. I mean, one of the, I had a discussion yesterday at my little nephew's birthday party, a couple of family members. I'm like, what if there isn't anything to the Mueller investigation? And I think a lot of Democrats and liberals, or even some moderate Republicans, are kind of hoping there is something so they can get Trump out of there in one way or another. And some Republicans even hope they get him out of there so Pence could be the president. But there is one other side to this. What if Trump didn't do anything wrong, nor anybody in his family? And I don't know if that's the case, but that's one of the many possibilities. Hey, listen, I got a couple things I want to talk about here locally. And here's an article by Bill Dolan in the Times. A state police unit specializing in corruption has agreed to probe whether Lake County political attacks launched through a Facebook account violated state laws. Lake County prosecutor Bernie Carter said Wednesday the Indiana State Police Organized Crime and Corruption Section will look into allegations of dirty politics that documents in the case linked to one county sheriff's candidate who is a former Cherville police chief, a political operative and convicted felon, a Lake County coroner's investigator, and a computer ID assigned to a local school district. Indiana law makes the posting of harmful comments under an assumed name on social media a level 6 felony. Hold on a second. Indiana law makes the posting of harmful comments under an assumed name on social media a level 6 felony. Wow, this world is just changing incredibly quickly in terms of social media and how you communicate. And I want to know how far that goes. Do you guys ever watch Region Rat Rants? Does anybody look at them? Those guys are funny, man. I don't want to know who it is. I honestly don't. I got a tip from someone that told me who it was. And they were certain that who it is. And I don't even want to see that person or their group of people. It sounds like it might be a group of people. But Region Rat Rants is on Twitter. And they make some very cutting comments about people in the region sometimes. Most of it's just like funny and, dope smoking, stuff. But once in a while they make fun of a local, and are they in violation, and are they under the possibility of having a level 6 felony? Indiana law makes the posting of harmful comments under an assumed name on social media a level 6 felony. Now, I kind of made fun of this, thinking, well, this Indiana State Police, Really, they're going to look into the case of let's give her a name. The case of the incredibly refined person by the name of Jackie Sutton. Bernie Carter said he doesn't know how long the investigation will take, but expects to receive a report following its conclusion. Indiana State Police Detective Joe White confirmed the investigation is ongoing. After receiving and reviewing the official request letter from the prosecutor's office, I was contacted by Indiana State Police Command, was asked to assign one of my organized crime and public corruption detectives to work with the Lake County Prosecutor's Office as an effort to determine if any Indiana laws were broken. The Times has reported last month an initial probe by county police turned up telecommunications records linking to Dave Dowling. All right. Now, does it go any deeper than that? Subpoenaed documents in the case showed computer signatures linked to those individuals also fed into the Facebook account. And Dowling denied any involvement. They're also saying that there may be some link to convicted felon Robert Cantrell. So they're saying that some sort of link was made to the home of felon Robert Cantrell. Here, what Cantrell say? He says, I don't do Facebook and I don't read Facebook. How would he say it? He's an old East Chicago guy. He's Chicago. He said, I don't do Facebook and I don't read Facebook. Get out of my face. I can have a lot of fun with this because ultimately it stems from the sheriff's race, which is a clown car. Normally sane and solid individuals, once you get thrown into the sheriff's race in Lake County, you become some sort of a rabid political animal. And it doesn't matter who you are. If you are going to be in the sheriff's race, you better have Teflon skin and you better have liquid aluminum running through your veins because it's already been very nasty. Jackie Sutton, remember when this came out, it's all about, ultimately, as far as I can tell, about the case of the Facebook account of a person going by the name of Jackie Sutton. And there's so much wrong with this, by the way. Remember I was out there the day this came out and I was yelling at all the cars, hey, are you Jackie Sutton? Hey, are you Jackie Sutton? Hey, are you Jackie Sutton? And once in a while now when I see people out and I'm going around the community, I'll start talking to somebody that's kind of in the know about politics. And there's so many of these operatives that just love it. And I'll be talking to them and then they'll know stuff. And I'll go, hey, man, are you Jackie Sutton? I don't know why it reminds me of that Dr. Seuss book. Are you my mother? No, I am not your mother. So look at this thing, man. They're saying Dowling, what they're trying to do. Now, is this Oscar Martinez using his office saying, oh, I've got information and I'm going to go to Bernie Carter. He's a Democrat. He's in office. Also, do Martinez and Carter have some sort of alliance? I don't know. And then why in the hell is the Indiana State Police getting involved in this? Well, you don't know where the political rivers run. You just don't. Or they have this corruption task force, and probably maybe they don't have anywhere for them to go, or they want to make a name for themselves. Because we're supposed to be spending taxpayer dollars out of the county where Lake County Prosecutor Bernard Carter's office is spending some money on it. The Indiana State Police are going to spend money on it. And it's all to get to the bottom of Jackie Sutton, the incredible mystery woman, Jackie Sutton. She's driving around right now. She is public enemy number Jackie Sutton. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Maybe there is a crime there. But now, every one of you that has a fake Facebook or Twitter account, think about where you're going now. Some of you do. Region Rat Rats. Are you guys committing a level 6 felony? I don't know. It's not your name, is it? It's not your name. It is an assumed name. And if you make accusations about people, you could be committing a level 6 felony. As a matter of fact, if you become under investigation now, can we go around and make sure and follow your computer ID and make sure that you're not under an assumed name anywhere on Facebook or on Twitter or on Snapchat or on Instagram? Because if you're doing an assumed name and you make harmful comments under an assumed name, you could be guilty of a level 6 felony. And we've really got to get to the bottom of this. I mean, how many? Maybe it's going to be a large investigation now. Maybe that's where it's starting. It's starting with Jackie Sutton and Oscar Martinez and Dave Dowling and Robert Cantrell, but ultimately it's going to grow. And then we're going to go to each person in the region eventually and find out if you have an assumed name and if you made any harmful comments. If you made any comments that could be remotely defined as harmful. Could you made negative comments about a politician? I mean, this could just be huge, actually. Because if you're going to apply the law to one guy, or one woman, Jackie Sutton, do you have to apply it to everyone? Maybe we're going to have this massive Indiana State Police task force, and they're going to come in and they're going to look for all fake names in Lake County. And then we're going to track them all down and see if anybody made harmful comments. And then instead of 60 indictments that we've had here of politicians over the last decade or so, maybe we'll have like 300. Because who else has a fake name on social media? And who else made a harmful comment? That's a felony, my friend. You're in trouble. Hey, Edgewater Health. Here we go. Be right back.
For generations, you've trusted Edgewater Systems to provide compassionate, high-quality care. As the science of behavioral health has evolved, it's revealed the important connection between physical and behavioral health. With this in mind, we're pleased to introduce Edgewater Health, which includes primary care, in addition to our long-standing mental health and addiction services. Whichever combination of services you need, Edgewater Health is here for you for your whole life. Learn more at edgewaterhealth.org.
Jedi's Garden Family Restaurant, located at the corner of Klein and Ridge, is Griffith's locally owned family restaurant with a down-home feel and made-from-scratch favorites you will love. Open daily from 5 a.m. to midnight, Jedi's has you covered with breakfast omelets, salads, stir-fry, seafood, and steak sandwiches. In addition to our award-winning lemon rice soup, 4 additional soups are served daily. Along with our recently expanded spirits menu, Mondays are half-price margaritas, and Wednesdays are $1 off domestics. Mention WJOB for 20% off your order. We'll see you at Jedi's at the corner of Klein and Ridge.
Join Harvest Ridge Church in St. John on Good Friday, March 30th at 7 p.m. for a Tenebrae service. Tenebrae, which means darkness or shadow, is an ancient tradition in which Christians gather to recall the hours of darkness that occurred at the crucifixion of Jesus. Set in candlelight, the candles are gradually extinguished as the biblical story of the cross is retold through scripture and music. Join us at Harvest Ridge Church at 9495 Kyleman Street in St. John for this Good Friday Tenebrae service. Visit harvestridgechurch.com for more information.
Hey, what's going on, guys? 622 in the Calumet region. Let's take a look at traffic. 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west looks good. Bishop Ford, Dan Ryan. And Bishop Ford had an earlier outbound accident at 110th. It looks like that's a lot better right now. Skyway Toll Road, Borman, I-65. And I don't really see that much. We had an earlier accident at Klein Avenue between Ridge Road and the Borman. That looks like that's been cleared also. So I got to tell you, man, we're at that time of year where it's just not that bad to drive around because construction hasn't started, and it's not a bad day. Traffic brought to you by Napleton River Oaks Honda. High of 46 today, mostly sunny and chilly. And then tomorrow, high of 45, sun giving way to clouds. And then Saturday, high of only 37, and we've got periods of snow. We're talking 1 to 3 inches in perhaps more of the southern parts of Lake County and Porter County and maybe into Will County, maybe even southern Cook County. For some reason, the front that's moving across is supposed to veer down there and maybe not hit the city of Chicago, nor right up here along the lake as much. It's actually kind of reverse lake effect. You know how we normally get the most snow right here by the lake. They're talking maybe the less right along the lake and maybe south, but that could change. So we'll keep an eye on it. We are scheduled to do a doubleheader at Dowling Park on Saturday, and that is because Grand Valley State, which is just a huge university, is coming in to play 3 games with Purdue Northwest in base, Dave Griffin's team. And that's going to start on Friday afternoon at 2 o'clock. You'll be able. It looks like they're going to get that game in. Ryan, keep an eye on that because Rick Costello, the AD yesterday at the Purdue Northwest game, was actually talking about there might be some changes to the schedule. So you're going to have to keep an eye on that. But I don't know if we're going to get those games in on Saturday. If you guys follow college baseball, a lot of times they'll move the games up and maybe play 2 on Friday and then just save 1 for Sunday, or maybe just play the Friday game and then just schedule the other 2 for Sunday. They get moved around a lot. It's not like a major league game where they've got specific times and specific order of playing the games. They'll do it any time. So keep an eye on that. And so Saturday could be tough. And if there's any other, I don't think any high school games have started yet, right? Have they for Saturday? The following week, right? Yeah, March 31st is, looks like there's some high school games on that. But we do have some, by the way, weather is brought to you by Labor's 41. He is a well-known waiter at Teebles. He is also the winner of the ICB trophy for best play-by-play by a college student in America, and he's right here out of Andrean. He continued his Catholic career at DePaul University in Chicago, and he's sitting right here after having a very long shift at Teebles yesterday, and he's spending his spring break bettering himself by earning some money and learning from one of the best in the business right here in broadcasting.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I've been having it's been a good break, but I also have had no time to sleep.
Let me just tell you right now, you are going to get absolutely no empathy here. And you know what I mean? You're Johnny Selzider over here. He's in his 50s. And we talk about when we would go out till 4 in the morning, come home, sleep for an hour, take a shower, and go to work 2-3 days in a row. Okay? And
I couldn't do that.
How old are you?
22.
Yeah, I think you need to get that thought out of your head about sleep. Okay, just get it out. Just say, I'm 22, I'm strong as a bull, and I'm headstrong. I want to make my mark in the world. And just understand sleep is kind of like something that you do all day on a Saturday when you're not working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Until your buddy calls you and say, hey, man, want to go watch the game? And you're like, oh, man, I really need to sleep. But, yes, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so PNW softball played yesterday. They lost 2 games yesterday. They opened up GLIAC play yesterday, losing 4-2 and 9-2. That drops them to 10-9 and 0-2 in conference. Taylor Mendenhall, Kylie Payne, Taylor Kotzo, and Tessa Steffens all picked up hits for PNW. They're going to play next at 1-3 on Saturday against Ferris State.
Is that at home?
Yes.
Ryan, is that at home? Am I announcing those? Okay, good.
So, and then PNW baseball is going to start a 4-game series at the Grand Valley State starting tomorrow, or excuse me, starting Saturday. I believe the game was canceled for tomorrow.
No, tomorrow they're playing, right? They moved the game, so all right. Well, let me get I'm going to call all right, Rob told you that the Friday game is not going to be played? That doesn't make any sense. It's be nice tomorrow. All right. Well, anyways, there you go. They were talking about it at the game, so they're going to change it. So we've got Ferris State and Grand Valley State coming in here. You know, you announced DePaul softball, right?
Mm-hmm.
How'd you like that?
I love it. I love that it's right there, especially right by. It's really kind of unique that it's right there by the L tracks, and I love when there's a train coming by, and you know you're probably sitting on the brown line going. You can go either direction because it runs north to south, and the stadium kind of faces the northeast. So a foul ball will come out of there, and you know you'll be seeing people sitting on the red line or sitting on the brown line or the purple line, and just hits the window and it just startles them, and you can see it right. You can see it all the time. It's really actually kind of funny, but you also got to wonder. I feel bad for the CTA employees that always have to kind of like sit up there and watch during a game and go fish out foul balls that get stuck in the tracks because, you know, if those build up, that could be pretty bad. I'm not sure how bad, but, you know, they got to have somebody up there to get everything out. So
What is the, I announced my first college softball game yesterday.
Mhm.
And, when you're going around on the, looking for sports, because that's what we do, although I don't know why I've attracted just other guys that just want to watch sports. Andrew's one of them. He's Ryan, Sam. You can go down the line. Ben Wood. I mean, we're just sports people, and you're going around and I've found myself watching the college softball games, and I don't know why. I mean, it's not that I'm like some dirty old man and I want to look at pretty young women running around. Whatever. I don't think that's a bad thing, but it's just the pace of the game and the tightness of it. And I was right next to it, right next to the dugout, and I announced that game. And I've got to announce a bunch of these games, and they thought I was going to do baseball. I'm going to let Ryan and Sam do the baseball, and I'll take the softball, partly because the games are so quick, man.
It is.
It is, and those women are throwing that ball so fast. I don't even know how you can see the they're so tall, and then they throw the underhanded, and it goes right. Anyways.
Yeah, and it's partly because, there's in softball, there's not as as baseball. You don't have people constantly stepping off the rubber to throw over to first base. You don't have batters constantly calling time. As soon as they get the ball, the pitcher gets the ball back, she delivers right away, and the batter, you're ready or you're not ready. So a little bit less of that element that baseball seems to have. Softball doesn't have it.
You know what else we had I need to move, huh? All right, sorry, we're done. All right, go ahead.
So also
one more and we got to go.
South Suburban men's basketball loses in the first round of the NJCAA Division II National Tournament. They're going to play Cuyahoga Community College in the consolation bracket at 3 p.m. on Thursday. That'd be today. Valpo's Brandon Newman is named to the Indiana Junior All-Stars. Bulls lose to the Denver Nuggets 135-102. They're now 24-47 on the season. Cristiano Felicio leads the Bulls with 16. They're going to play against the Bucks tomorrow at the United Center. The Pelicans beat the Pacers in New Orleans 96-92. Victor Oladipo led it with 21 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Anthony Davis went for 28, 13, and 1. They are now 41-31 on the season. They play tomorrow against the Clippers at 6 in Indianapolis. Blackhawks begin the slate of meaningless games now they've been eliminated from playoff contention. They're going to play tonight at 7 at the United Center against the Vancouver Canucks. Cubs beat the Rangers yesterday 5-1. Chris Bryant with a 3-run homer. That's his first of the spring. Kyle Schwarber also homered in the win. The White Sox lose to the Padres 4-3. Craig D'Lo went 1 for 4 with 3 Ks, but picked up another hit. He's hitting 400 on the season.
There it is. You guys watched it yesterday. I had all sorts of people telling me, and I came back and watched Craig strike out, and then that was it. All right, guys, be right back.
I enjoy watching basketball at home, but I think we should go over to Johnny's Tap in Munster for drinks and fun.
Yeah, I like going to Johnny's Tap.
Speaking of fun, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. and Mrs. Fun.
Mr. Who and Mrs. Who?
Mr. and Mrs. Fun, but they're at Johnny's Tap.
Okay, I'll see you there at the corner of Broadmoor and Calumet Avenue.
Yeah, I like going to Johnny's Tap.
Johnny's Tap. New ownership, now smoke-free, and still the home of Mr. and Mrs. Fun.
A real neighborhood type of place.
Rush Radiosurgery deploys revolutionary technology in the fight against prostate cancer in just 5 outpatient treatments. With radiosurgery treatment for prostate cancer, there is no pain, no surgery, and you can go back to your normal activities right after treatment. Prostate cancer does not fight fair, and neither should you. For more information, contact Rush Radiosurgery at 312-942-4600 or visit us at rushradiosurgery.com.
No case is typical. Results will vary by patient, and there's no guarantee other patients will experience these results.
Hey, what's going on? It's all baseball morning here. We got Dave Pischker coming in here from Andrean, but right now we've got Johnny Selzider. Before we do that, let's take a quick look at traffic. 290. It's all moving along well. You got a little break stopper at the merge from the Bishop Ford to the Dan Ryan. Surprisingly light today. Johnny Selzider's in here. He is in no official capacity right now as we're just here to talk some baseball and fundraiser. Selzider, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
All right, man. It's a great time of year, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's spring training's in full bloom, and pretty soon everybody's going to be heading north. And I think the White Sox are April 5th is the opening day, and then the Cubs April 9th. So you'll probably be at both, right?
I don't know, man. I haven't gone to opening days in a while. I mean, they're exciting and so forth, but they're always cold. There's a lot of drunkenness. and there's a lot of, oh, I love baseball, and then you never talk baseball again with these people. I kind of wait till it filters out and then go to your rooftop. It's usually my first game of the year is usually your rooftop. What day is it this year?
Well, this year it's going to be a little bit later. It's Friday, July 6th.
Oh, no, it won't be first, yeah.
Typically in the past, we'd always had it in May and some other times, even as early as April. And you know why? That's because of the negotiations that go on when you have a fundraiser and you're trying to take somebody's business for the day. They usually try to put you in the earlier games, but now we've sort of earned the right to go to July. So this rooftop, this 17th annual rooftop, is going to be Friday, July 6th, 2018.
Friday, July 6th, and just remind people what the charity is all about.
Sure. Well, so we started this family charity about 18 years ago. We were living in Hammond, and we decided to do some things to give back to the community. We had done it primarily to teach our children to give back. So we started doing these events, organizing golf outings, bowling things, and this has really been our big event, this rooftop charity fundraiser. All the proceeds from these events go to local children's charities or charities that affect children and other cancer-related charities. So in the past, we've raised thousands and thousands of dollars through the help of WJOB and all the people in Northwest Indiana, and we've given money to groups such as Haven House, Nazareth Home, the Food Bank, NIC, which is the Northwest Indiana Cancer Kids. We've done it for the Pediatric Cancer Research, the Friends of Michael Williams, and a whole number of assorted individuals that have needed money in the past, and just trying to help out, just trying to give back to the community, doing it through money, and then also organizing events that bring a lot of people together for networking, building relationships, that type of thing.
What do you get for $150?
Well, this is what you get for $150. So we're gonna put you on the rooftop, which in and of itself is really something you have to experience in your lifetime if you are truly a baseball fan. It's a great view. It's not in the game, but it's a different view. Along with that $150, we're going to give you all the food and beverage you want for the day. The rooftop opens at 12:20. The game time is usually 1:20, and we're there till probably about end of the game. But they stop serving beer and things like that, I think, in the 8th inning. So you get a lot, and then we're also going to have a lot of baseball donations from the Cubs and the White Sox and all the other sort of groups. So we have a raffle. We do the 50-50. But all in all, the best thing you're going to get out of it is you're going to meet some new friends from Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland. You're going to get to have a nice day, hopefully on July 6th, which is typically better weather than the earlier games in May and April. But you're gonna really get a nice event, and you're going to get a good feeling about helping people out.
He's Johnny Salzar. He's a left-hander. Played college baseball at
Illinois State. Fighting Redbirds.
Fighting Redbirds. I think you went. Where'd you go to law school?
I went to law school at Northern.
Yeah, NIU. And has been here locally, works as a lawyer downtown. And I've been going I remember going to the first one. I can't believe that was 17 years ago. And I've probably been to maybe 14 of these. I remember one year we were there, and a number of guys just started drinking. And next thing you know, they were on a plane to Los Angeles to watch the Blackhawks play in the playoffs because they couldn't get tickets here. It was cheaper to fly to L.A., stay in a hotel, go to the game, buy good tickets, and then come home than it was to try to see the game here in when they were on one of their Stanley Cup runs. They were playing the L.A. Kings. But so weird stuff happens. But
I'm sure you were at that one, too, that the game never even took place. We just sat on the rooftop and had a nice party sitting in the rain. And
I think it's rained a couple of times.
Yeah, we've had our fair share of different weather.
Yeah, the one time it was pretty cold. But then there's been a number of them where it's just been beautiful weather, and you just can't. I mean, it's just a great time, man. And you're right about meeting new people. A lot of times I don't get to meet all the people that, listen or watch. And this thing has been a huge one for, hey, dude, I listen to you all the time. And why do you say this? Why do you let Mad Mac on? And, that Fernando, he's an idiot. Or, and everybody's got an opinion. But I meet a lot of listeners and viewers on this. So where can they get tickets?
All right. So the easiest way to get tickets is if you have Facebook, you go to the Salzheimer Family Charity page. And if you scroll down, you'll see that there is a direct link. And I'm not going to bother to read it out on the air, but there's a direct link over to the Wrigley View rooftops. And you can pay with a debit or credit card. If you want to send a check, you can send a check made out to the Salzheimer Family Charity to 8926 Arbor Hill Drive in Highland, Indiana, 46322. Or you can give us a call at 219-838-0234. You'll leave a message. We'll get back to you. We'll get you the tickets. This is this charity is run by our family. No one is paid to do any of this. If you leave a message, we'll get back to you, and we'll meet up with you and get it all done. But it's not like trying to get a business or someone's going to contact you in a day. So just be patient. We'll get back to you. But we would love to have you. We only sell 150 tickets for the fundraiser, so
it sells out. And a couple of times, I think one year I had started to get a friend, and I. He was on his way out, I think, already. But Greg Zeller, the Attorney General, and I, share an affinity for sports. He's a Reds fan, so you better let him know because he's a Reds fan that this is going on. And then I said, all right, yeah, you know what, Zeller, you can come with us. And then I go to Zeller, and he's like, dude, we sold out 2 weeks ago. So it was not easy getting tickets for Zeller. And but this is a lot of fun. Hey, Johnny, let's go to you. Did you go to fantasy camp this year?
I did. I went down to the White Sox. I sort of go to the Cubs 1 year, and I go to the White Sox, and this year I went to the White Sox in Glendale, Arizona.
How was it?
It was very nice, very nice. If you're a baseball player and you've never been to one of the fantasy camps, you really should do it. It's a week of playing baseball. Your coaches are the ex-professional players. When you go, you stay at the White Sox hotel. You are eating meals in the White Sox cafeteria. You got a full uniform. You're using their trainers. You're using their fields. And if anybody is truly a baseball fan, that's really something you should do.
Who throw some players' names out that were with you this time?
Let's see. Well, on the White Sox side, it's Pachorik and Kittle. But this was the first time I had ever met Steve Garvey and Steve Sachs because if you know how things work in Arizona, the White Sox and the Dodgers share the spring training facilities. So when you go and you're suited up as a White Sox player, you're going to play the Dodgers. And that's the little tournament they have to the championship game, which we got into the championship game. We lost, I think, 4-3 to Garvey's team. But so you get to meet those guys as well. So it's really a lot of fun. It's a lot of baseball. It's it's a full week of doubleheaders. A lot of drinking beer at night, talking baseball with the ex-Dodgers and the ex-White Sox. But I really enjoy it. I've been doing it for 10 or 11 years now, and I'll just keep going till I can't play anymore.
Did you get into any conversations with Kittle?
Yeah, if you can't be around Ron Kittle for more than a minute without getting into some conversation with him, probably about selling something or making something or what he does on the side.
I've done the same thing with Kittle, and it's just been a couple times. The wife is like waiting in the car for Kittle to tell one more region story because he loves telling region stories. Oh, and I remember, we were playing Roosevelt, and then he'll, hey, did you know this guy? And he loves the region. I know he's been in the White Sox organization for a long time and has moved over to Illinois, but he lived in Valpo for a long time. And, I'd get to see him, but man, he's a talker. He's a talker.
He tells stories about the region, and so does Tim Stoddard.
Yeah.
Because he does the Cubs fantasy camp.
He's Johnny Salzar. Do you want to go to this thing? I'll be up there. Alexis will be up there. Although I don't know if she, now that she's on the bench, I don't know what the rules are, but I'll certainly be there. And, come on, you want to go. Ryan Walsh has been there. Another guy that goes on a regular basis is Dave Sutkowski. David, how are you, buddy?
Hey, good morning, Jim. Good morning, John. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Hey, I just wanted to echo what you're saying. I've been to your event a few years, and it's really a great time. It's a great event. great view from up there on the rooftop. As you said, you meet a lot of different people, and food and drink is always good too. So definitely want you to put me in for 2 tickets. And you mentioned about meeting some different people out there. We had the one you're meeting with the Attorney General. As you know, he's a Cincinnati Reds fan, but he comes up there. And Brian Jennings and I somehow coaxed him into going to the White Sox game. The Sox were also in town that same day. And you talk about making a day of it, being on the rooftop there and then going with the Attorney General to the White Sox game that night was quite a day for everybody.
I'm sure you went in the Attorney General's private car, too.
Yeah, we did. We happened to, we had taken the train up there, and we said, well, how are we going to get back? And the Attorney General says, well, I've got my driver here. Why don't you just come along with us, and we'll get you down to get down to the White Sox game. And so that's what we ended up doing.
I remember it just a little bit differently in that he was my guest, and he wanted to go to the White Sox game, and you guys rescued the hell out of me by taking him. And so I'm like, man, I'm done. I've been drinking beer. I want to go home. And he's like, hey, man, I want to go to the White Sox. I want to do this. And you guys stepped in and rescued on that. And I owe you still, Sutkowski and Jennings, for basically entertaining them. So thank you.
It was a great time. And I'll tell you, the funny thing about it was when we got to the Sox game, he was still wearing a Cubs polo. And he looks at Jennings and me and he says, can I go in there with this Cubs polo on? And I said, I think you'll be okay. Well, as soon as he gets in, he goes to the gift shop. He buys himself a White Sox polo, runs into the washroom, and changes into that for the Sox game.
I can't believe you told him that it was okay to wear a Cubs polo there. Yeah, you probably said, yeah, it's okay to wear a Cubs polo if you want to get your ass kicked.
Well, I didn't go into all the details, but he figured it out pretty quick.
All right, man. Sutkowski, good hearing from you, man. How's your baseball season going?
Good, all right. Of course, high school season's going on. We finished. We had our winter workouts going up until just a couple Sundays ago, but we won't see our kids now, of course, until after the high school season's over with. But we'll be getting back with them right around the end of May, 1st of June.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Talk to you.
Okay, take care.
Salzider, go to Salzider, SALZIDER on Facebook, and you'll be able to do it. Johnny, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, guys. Hey, we're going to continue, I guess, with baseball. Dave Pisker's in the house. Let's do it.
Save the date, April 19th, for the 2018 Fair Housing Act's 50th anniversary celebration and awards reception being held at the Center for Visual and Performing Arts in Munster from 3 to 8 p.m. At 3 p.m., there will be a continuing education class. From 5 to 6:30 p.m., enjoy a cocktail reception, and 6:30 to 8 p.m., program and awards. Tickets in advance are $35 or $45 at the door. A portion will go to NWIRA programs. That's April 19th from 3 to 8 p.m., hosted by Lake County Housing Task Force and Bankers Community Council of NWIRA.
I'm Barbara Gadarian-Muckle, Executive Director of Excel to Fitness, Northwest Indiana. Excel to Fitness is a 6-week program serving boys 3rd through 6th grade. This program is for every boy. The 12-session curriculum creates an interactive experience using speed, strength, agility, balance, and cardio while embedding character through teamwork, leadership, and goal setting. Join Excel to Fitness this season at your school, church, or recreational center. Registration begins March 12th. Contact me at 219-595-XCEL or exceltofitness.com/Northwest Indiana.
Do you have a family history of heart disease or diabetes? St. Catherine Hospital Cardiovascular Prevention Center providers are offering free assessments to help determine your risk for heart disease and other related medical conditions. On Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 9 to 11:30 a.m., you can stop by the center at 7217 Indianapolis Boulevard in Hammond for assessments like an ABI leg circulation test, blood pressure, body mass index, random glucose assessment, and more. You must be 18 or older, and walk-ins are welcome. You have only one body. Let St. Catherine Hospital of Community Healthcare System help you take care of it. You can also call 219-392-7CVP to book an appointment today.
Flu season got you down? Just left the doctor's office and don't want to wait in line at the pharmacy? Hi,
This is Ellen from Quick Scripts Pharmacy inviting you to stop into any one of our 3 locations to experience our fast and friendly service to get you out the door and feeling better faster. We accept all insurances, have free local delivery, on-site one-on-one pharmacist consultations, and competitive pricing on generics and over-the-counter products. We are located in downtown Lansing, Illinois, downtown Griffith, Indiana, and our newest location off of 231 in Parrish Avenue in St. John, Indiana. Stop in today.
From the Strachan Van Til Studios, your local Strachan Van Til has some great products on sale this week. Here's a few items you might want to add to your shopping list. California Cuties, 5-pound box, $4.99 each. Purdue split chicken breasts or thighs, 88 cents a pound. 12-ounce 12-pack Coca-Cola, Sprite, Mountain Dew, Lipton Brisk, 7-Up, RC Cola, and Canada Dry, $2.99 each when you buy 3, limit 2 offers. Strachan Van Til, proud to be Indiana-made and dedicated to being Indiana's grocery store.
This is Jimmy Mulaney and Chase McDermott, and we are the host of The Two Horsemen, the weekly Notre Dame football podcast crew. And you are listening to WJOB 1230 AM and FM 104.7 in Hammond, Indiana.
294 around the city, moving okay. 80 going east and west, looks good. Division 4 up the gut of the Southland is tight from 111th, 103rd, but other than that, it's not too bad. You might want to just not pay the money today. Skyway Toll Road, Borman, I-65, US 30, Klein Avenue. Hey, they're all moving along pretty well. Traffic brought to you by Napleton River Oaks Honda. Now let's take a look at what is happening on the weather, which is brought by Laborers 41, of which I'm a proud alum of that fine union. Mostly sunny and chilly and a high of 46, but actually not a bad day to maybe get out and practice baseball or softball. And tomorrow, sun giving away to some clouds and get a high of 45 tomorrow. And then as it gets overnight and into Saturday, we're looking at possibly 1 to 3 inches of snow and a high of about 36 degrees. And you'll get lows in the mid-20s going into Saturday and coming out of Saturday. And Sunday, though, beautiful day, partly sunny and a high of 50. And then Monday, partial sunshine and a high of 50. And then by Tuesday, which is opening day, it looks like for Andrean baseball, you're talking a high of 60, but maybe just a little bit of rain. So they might be able to get that game in. I did the game yesterday for Purdue Northwest out at Dowling Park, and I can tell you it is a new ball game, my friends. It was the first GLIAC game for Purdue Northwest softball, and you know, you're not in Kansas anymore, as Saginaw Valley State came into Dowling Park over here and swept a doubleheader from what was the 10-7 Purdue Northwest Pride. And they'll, in baseball this weekend, Grand Valley State is coming in. And let me just tell you that there's very little difference between good Division II and good Division I baseball and softball. And I was extremely impressed at the level of play yesterday. And you will be, if you're able to come out and see Dave Griffin's PNW Pride play Grand Valley State coming in. Grand Valley State's like 24,000 people in that university. And by many estimations, it should be a Division I university, but they just love beating up on other Division II teams, and they continue to do it. So you're going to see some major pitching, and Grand Valley from time to time will put somebody in the pros. So will this guy sitting on the end of my table right now, and that's Dave Pischker, the head baseball coach at Andrean High School. Dave, how you doing?
Good morning, Jim. How you doing? Springtime.
It is, man. You got to be excited, huh?
Absolutely. It's always great when when we get a little extra sun and the weather starts to change and get out and play some baseball.
Did you practice outside yesterday?
No, we didn't, but we've been out 3 times, which is that's pretty good for this time of the year for us.
You know, I went out and announced that game yesterday, and it was 34 degrees at the start, and that wind was howling off of Lake Michigan. And all these women were just like standing out in right field with just an Under Armour on, and I'm just like, I mean, literally, I almost just left in the middle of the game and said, hey, you just finish this up. I'm going to go sit in the concession stand. It was that cold, but, you know, some people like it. They'll get out and play. I mean, they're on turf, so that makes a big difference.
Sure. But you still get that nice wind coming off the lake and a little breezy, a little cold.
It's a little colder for you on the top of your head these days, huh?
Absolutely. If I'd have had my headband, I could have been Slick Watts today.
You got it. Spud Webb, Slick
Yeah.
Watts, man. We've got a cue ball coach on the end over here, and he's Dave Pischker. He also happens to be the dean of high school baseball coaches in Indiana. And I know you don't want to do this, but how many wins you got now? Around 950?
Yeah, right around there.
Yeah, around 9. I remember when you hit 900, we had you in maybe a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, and you're up around 950. And you're going into what year now? Is this your 39th year as a head baseball coach? Man, that's a long time.
It is. But you know what? It's flown by, and it's been fun.
Every year at this time, what is your feeling?
In regards,
this is it, man. It's spring. What goes through?
It doesn't get any better. You know, you not that you endure, but you go through the fall season and you watch football and soccer, and then you watch basketball. But in the back of your mind, you're just kind of waiting for spring to start. You really are. I mean, it's fun to watch those other sports, but down deep inside, you just want the spring to come and get out and play baseball.
Got a lot of guys in college right now, huh?
We do. We have 12 kids playing in college right now, 3 Division I's and 9 other ones that are playing, and I think 6 of them in Indiana, 4 in Illinois, 1 in Alabama, and 1 in Michigan, I believe. And then we got 3 in the pros right now.
How's Frank's son doing?
Which one?
Nick.
Nick's doing extremely well.
I saw him on TV one time for on streaming on the video on we're such deep fans. Hey, Nick Potko's playing on the thing, so he was playing for Notre Dame down in Florida on a streaming game, and I saw him bat one time, but seems like he's doing pretty well at shortstop, right?
He's playing second base.
Oh, he's playing second?
He's playing second. He bats third in the team, and he leads the team virtually in every offensive category. And there was an article I read not too long ago that they said he might have slipped into the top 10 rounds during the draft, which is outstanding.
Just from watching him play for you, I got the feeling he was a real strong glove. And, he could field anything, one of the top fielders in the region. But I didn't get the feeling that he was that level of a hitter. And I don't know if it was just I wasn't paying attention or he has improved.
Well, you know what? He graduated a year early. So that's tough. He was a 17-year-older when he graduated. And he was always an outstanding athlete. But maybe because of basketball and some of the other things, he wasn't able to lift during the season. So obviously when you get to Notre Dame and you're just playing baseball only, they get you in a weight room quite a bit. So
he looked bigger.
He's probably over 200 pounds now, and he's a strong kid. And again, he's a great athlete and doing an outstanding job. He's only made 1 error this year. He's had some big hits, and if you're playing at Notre Dame, people are going to see you.
Yeah, I can't remember who I saw him play, but it was maybe Tennessee or Vanderbilt or some big school. I mean, Notre Dame plays the best of the best.
They do.
Hey, let's just see. Pischker has all these guys in school right now. Nick Potko's, of course, at Notre Dame. Luke Jackson is at Ball State. Nick, how do you say, Fushi?
Fushi. He's a senior now, so he's been given a scholarship to Ball State, but we still have him for 1 more year.
Chase Dawson is at Valpo. Clay Thompson is at Oakland University. That's pretty good baseball, D1 there. Noah Davis, Benedictine. You got Kevin McCune over here at PNW along with Jimmy Skiff. And then Evan Heilich and Jimmy Tarala, Donovan Chandler, Billy Johnson, Stone Brogan, Sawyer Allen, and Brad Levesque. All those guys are playing right now, huh?
Yeah, and they're all doing quite well. It's an adjustment going from high school to college, no matter what level of college, and they are they're taking their time and they're producing.
Did you think that Sean Manea was going to be a major league pitcher when you had him?
No.
I didn't either.
No.
I saw him pitch one time in a sectional. I'm like, wow, he's really good. He'd be a good college player, but you could not have predicted that he'd be starting for the Oakland A's. What did he go, like 13-10 last year or something like that?
He led the team in strikeouts and games and innings and a lot of stuff. And to be over 500 for Oakland, you've done something well.
Yeah, because
you're not getting a lot of help there.
Bruce, you've got Zach Ryan's playing, right? In the Angels, with the Angels?
He's a closer. He was with Single A last year. I think he's with Double A this year. I don't know if he's got any appearances in the springtime, but Mikey Brasso, who's a 2012 grad and went to Oakland and basically just was a free agent signing by Tampa Bay. And those guys, the free agent signings last a year, usually, maybe 2 years. He's now going on his third year, I believe, and he's reached Double-A. He's played spring training. He's 2 for 5 so far in the spring training with the big boys, and they love him. They asked him, they said, you know what, when you're done, we'd like you to be part of the coaching staff at some point. So that's a pretty big compliment when you're only 24. They already like your attitude and your smarts for the game. So we're happy for every one of these kids.
We're talking to Dave Pischker, head baseball coach at Andre, and if you want to talk to him, 219-845-1100. One of the things that Ryan and I want to make sure that we promote, and this is close to our own heart in that we're right here on the campus of Purdue Northwest, is that you got a big high school game coming to Dowling Park here, and that is one of the reasons that I was looking at next Tuesday's weather, because we're okay with the cold. We just don't want too much rain. Actually, we're okay with the cold and the snow because they can block the snow off and just move it across. It's rain, but next Tuesday, you guys are playing Brother Rice right here at Dowling.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Who put that together?
I made a couple calls. So we were gonna play Brother Rice, and both of us knowing at this time of the year that weather could impact the field, so we kind of thought if we can get some turf field, that'd be great. So I called Dave Griffin, and Dave hooked me up with
Rick Costello.
Exactly,
yeah.
And we got it done. So we're going to open up. I think Brother Rice, by that time we play him, we'll have 7 games in, and that'll be our first game. So a little bit of a challenge. It's a great program, an outstanding coach, and it's tough to give him 7 games right off the bat, but we'll be out there.
I traded the board of trade with a number of Brother Rice guys, and a couple of them had played baseball, and they give back to the program. I mean, that's a nice model to see what they're doing and get the alumni involved in that, and get them some money through the program. So, and they're good.
They are good.
They're always good, man.
They are.
Hey, you're on the road a lot. I see you're going to West Lafayette. You're playing in Nashville. Is that right?
Yeah, we've never taken a spring trip, so. Mikey Doolin, our junior, has committed to Vanderbilt already. So I figured, okay, let's call Vanderbilt and see what's going on, see if we can get on that field. And he was pretty adamant. He said, you know what, as long as Mikey's there or we got a Vanderbilt person on the field, we'll take somebody. We'll let you play there. So I have no connections in Tennessee, so I asked them if they would make some calls and get somebody for us to play. So we got a doubleheader the day after Easter in Vanderbilt, and we're playing Baylor School. Baylor School would be like Carmel, Indiana. They've got 222 state championships in various sports. So obviously it's a very competitive athletic program. And then we play another school that's won a couple state championships that same day, and then we play off campus the next day. So we get 3 games in 2 days, get some good weather hopefully, get out of the state, get a chance to practice on that Wednesday, and then come back to beautiful Northwest Indiana.
And then, of course, you've got 2 Catholic schools are going to face off on a state university field, Purdue University. Although I'm not sure, to be honest with you, they built that new stadium down at Purdue, Lafayette. Great playing surface, got big stands and stuff. I'm not altogether sure we don't have a better playing surface right here in Northwest than they do down there. But, of course, it's a huge stadium. It's a little off campus now. But that's got to be a good, the kids got to be looking forward to playing at Purdue.
Absolutely. And I think when you're at an agricultural school that you probably can't have artificial turf. They're probably saying, now we can't do that. But we played there.
I went there after it had rained and they were practicing, and I'm like, you know what? We got better stuff. Yeah. So anyways.
Well, we played there a couple years ago, and it is a great field. And they have their own ground crew there, and I'm sure it's kids that are eventually going to be into that type of field. But it is outstanding. It's a really nice complex.
All right, we're talking to Dave Pischker. They're also going to play at Notre Dame, and then they're going to play at UIC, right?
We have an opportunity to play at UIC or Standard Bank in that Bajensky tournament where there's 14 teams in that, 13 Illinois teams, and then we represent Indiana.
So let's talk local baseball. What kind of team you got coming back?
I think it's a pretty good team. We have obviously we have our 2 top pitchers coming back, and that's a good place to start. Mikey Doolin was 8-0 last year as a sophomore with a ton of strikeouts and a short amount of innings. And obviously he's a preseason All-American. He made the area code games last year. He's getting all the pub and notoriety that one could want. Now he just has to be able to go out there and prove that he's as good as everybody says he is. And then Clay Thompson, who's I think Clay was 6-1 last year. So when you got your two top kids that were 14-1 combined with another year of experience, I think we'll be fine in the mound. And then we have a nice group of juniors and seniors and sophomores that'll fill out the rotation. But it's always your 1 and 2 guys that are most important. And if they stay healthy by the time tournament time comes around, and we're going to always throw out a good guy in the bump.
Who's catching them?
That's a good question. We have it's probably down to a 2-man race. It was 4 initially, but a little sophomore named Jake Mullen, and he's 5'9", 145 pounds, but just a very intelligent catcher with a very good arm. And then big Matt Lolito. Matt played on the basketball team. Matt's the opposite. He's 6'4", 200 pounds.
He can bend down.
Yeah, well, he's Carlton Fisk.
Okay.
Hate to use that White Sox reference, but he's a big guy with a big time arm. But he would be, I call him the Bugs Bunny. If you remember the old Bugs Bunny at first, Bugs Bunny at second. Matt can play every position for us. So literally, if he doesn't win the catching job, he'll get some catching time. He'll pitch for us. He'll play some second. He'll play some outfield. I'm just going to move him around. He's a good athlete.
You haven't won the state since 2015.
I know. Well, and we were in 3A then, and then the state said you can't do that anymore. We're going to move you up to 4A and make it difficult, and it was. There's a huge difference between 3A and 4A baseball. The 4A teams, the Chestertons of the world, are loaded with a lot of pitching and
with some guys that used to go to Andrean.
Yeah. Well, there's a really nice shortstop we wish was still at Andrean. Is now Tommy Benson, who supposedly we hear is going to IMG next year.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if he didn't get the college offer that he wanted, but IMG's pretty big time high school. Well, is that a prep school?
I don't know exactly what it's like an academy.
Yeah.
That's what they call themselves, an academy. I talked to Tommy about, his baseball and stuff, and a really nice kid.
Yes, he is.
And he started, I think he started at Andrean and
as a sophomore.
as a sophomore, and then he went over to Chesterton. And I thought about that, and the whole time I'm thinking, I'm like, Pisker is probably just not.
That's a tough one to lose.
That was a tough one to lose.
He was a great kid. He started as a sophomore. He's like 5'10". Now he's 6'3", and he can throw it. He can swing it. He's just a very good baseball player. And Chesterton's gain, our loss.
So So you'll play 4A again this year?
No, we're down to 3A.
You're down to 3A.
We've done our time in 4A, and the rule is if you don't accumulate enough points, you go down one more class. We're actually a 2A school in terms of enrollment, but the state says you can only go down one class at a time. So we're going to play 3A this year.
Griffith left the NCC. What does that mean?
Well, we only got 10 conference games this year, which that's fine for us because now we were able to go out and play tennis in Tennessee. I don't know why they left. I'm not so sure that's going to help their schedule. Was it a football related thing? But it was nice to play Brian and his teams. They were always prepared.
They were always up to play you guys.
Well, they were.
I've been to plenty of those where you could just feel it. And Griffith would bring a big crowd, especially when you came over there. That's a missed baseball game.
Yeah, and we don't play them this year,
yeah.
which is unfortunate. And I don't know how many. Brian and I tried to get something going, and we had very few mutual dates that were available. And then when this thing came in Tennessee, I had to jump on that. But if we get some rainouts, non-conference rainouts, and we can't reschedule them, Brian and I, we'll talk, and we'll probably try to get them.
Go along the ridge. You got Bogner, you got Schinken still doing it. So you're not the only veteran.
Old guy?
Yeah, you're not the only older guy. You got Jennings isn't quite an old guy, but he's getting close.
He's been there a while though.
Yeah, he's been there a while.
He has been there. Yeah.
And then Schenk, of course, is right there with you for maybe how many years does Schinken have? Maybe 20.
Oh no,
30.
He's probably 35.
35. Yeah, he came in after Nixick.
Yep.
And
I think 85 or 86. 86 was his first year.
So he's over 30 now, too. Mm-hmm. It's always nice when you play them, huh?
It is. Schenk does a great job over there, and it's and they just redid their field. Their field took a toll. The weather took a toll on that field last year, and we went there and played, and there was it just wasn't typical Munster field, and I think they realized that, and they put a lot of money into the field. Otherwise, I think they were going to lose the sectional to somebody. But that's always a very athletic program.
You know, they open up the left field and then they play soccer on it, and that does take its toll over there. And they'll play soccer in any weather, and they're ripping that thing up all fall, and sometimes it doesn't bounce back. I live not too far from there, and I've seen that, and that makes a factor. I'm actually kind of surprised with some of the newer fields that they still have that sectional.
Well, that's true. I think the Lake Central one, which you would think that's what we'd host, they don't have lights, which kind of hurt. And I think the state is kind of leery of putting somebody on a turf field when other people maybe have not played it, where it's somewhat of an advantage. That's what I've been told. It's kind of strange that Munster, when they renovated, didn't do turf. When they did the football field, that why wouldn't you just turf it and don't have to worry? You don't have to worry about maintenance and cutting the grass and all that stuff that goes with the baseball field. It's just, I think they made a bad move there.
Political appearance. I think they were taking some heat for building such a grandiose swimming facility and a turf football field that if you went all the way to baseball,
but they got a turf practice field too.
I know. Don't ask me. That's if I remember at the time, I thought the same thing, because you know how cool it is to go over here to Dowling Park and walk out on that turf. And Griffin can play in any. I mean, they push the snow off and then they play. I mean, you know what that does to a program. It gives you, a competitive advantage too, because you can practice outside in any weather, basically.
Exactly. And when it rains, 15 minutes after it's done raining, you play where you're on a regular field 15 minutes after you're calling the game and say, when could we reschedule? So it's a big time advantage. And teams are starting to do that more and more. You're starting to get more and more high school teams throughout Indiana that are starting to go to turf.
We're talking to Dave Pishker, and if you guys want to ask him a question, 219-845-1100. Dave, I got a nephew, 14 years old. I've been following him around Bobby Morris's organization. I've been going around and seeing all the different ones he's been playing, the outsiders and all that. The rise of travel baseball has what effect on what you're doing?
The kids are just more prepared. It's hard to, they're playing 40, 50, 60 games in the summertime, and they're practicing throughout the wintertime, where years past that wasn't the case. So now they're coming to you, and it's almost like the haves and have-nots. They come into your program, and if you played on a really good competitive summer program, you've got 2 or 3 years advantage over the kid who hasn't. So baseball arms are better now. Hitting technique is better. So I think baseball overall is improved for those who have played a summer program. The downside is, how much does that impact that kid where now I can't play football because I don't want to miss a summer game, and I can't really play basketball because we're practicing during this time, and you kind of lose the athlete anymore. And so it's a mixed bag.
Do you worry about burnout amongst the kids?
I haven't seen that really. You would think, though. We both, they didn't have travel ball when you were young, I don't think, and we played a 20-game summer schedule. You played 10 games, had an all-star break, and then played 10 games again. I could have played 50 games easily, and I would have never been burnt out. I guess everybody is different.
He's Dave Pishker, head baseball coach at Andrean. Hey, they're going to be playing right out here on Tuesday. Looks like it's going to be 60 degrees. If the rain stays away, that could be a big day. They're going to be playing Brother Rice, certainly a power on the Chicago, Illinois, and all that. You can see them going downstate all the time. And they'll be playing March 27th. That's on Tuesday right here at Purdue Northwest. Dave, anything else?
No, you know what? I didn't know what the weather is supposed to be 60. I'm excited about that. We've not had 60. Have we had 60
I
yet?
don't think it's reached. I mean, that's the warmest day of the year that they're
that's
projecting. But, of course, it could bring rain. But hopefully it'll rain at like 7:40, and it'll just pour right after the game's over.
Go.
And so we'll be out there, and I'll give you guys a report on that as I'll swing over there and watch that game. Dave, thanks for coming in. It's kind of a tradition. We bring in Coach Pishker at the beginning of baseball season, and we just kind of talk about what's going on in his program. And you know what? I think we're going to try to have a few more baseball and softball coaches come through here on the morning show. Also, if you guys are interested, recently our Sam Michael had 4 baseball coaches. He had Shinkin and Bogner and Jennings and Wong, and he did a baseball talk just like opening the season. And if you go in the WJOB videos, you can go down there. I think like 7,000 people have watched that thing. And they talked a lot about what's going on in local high school baseball. Hey, it's our job to promote it, and we'll continue to do that. Dave, thanks for coming in. And you know what? Further than that, thanks for, like, directing young men for 39 years, man. That's no easy task.
It has been my pleasure. Jim, thanks so much for having me, and thanks for what you do for high school sports in general.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Have a good one.
All right, guys. Let's hear from Napleton, and we'll be right back. We'll get it going.
Fill your garage with your dream car during the Honda Dream Garage Spring event going on now at Napleton's River Oaks Honda. They're Northwest Indiana's destination for new and certified pre-owned Hondas. Napleton's River Oaks Honda has a huge selection of brand new and certified pre-owned Civics, Accords, CRVs, and Pilots. Come find out why you always get our best deal at River Oaks Honda. As always, Indiana residents pay Indiana sales tax right off 8094 on Torrance Avenue or online at riveroakshonda.com.
Napleton, second to none since 1931.
Corellis Roofing offers careers, not just jobs. So if you're looking for a career, this could be a good place for you.
Roofing is a hard job, but it is rewarding. My name is CJ Benessa. I am a steep slope roofer at Corellis Roofing. I go to sleep every night feeling proud that I accomplished something. I was a part of a team. I'm doing something that needs to be done. People are getting roofs forever.
If you're willing to work hard, we have a place for you at Corellis Roofing.
Would you go to a doctor that isn't board certified? No, of course not. Then why would you trust in a lawyer that isn't board certified? If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, get someone that's a board certified civil trial specialist by the National Board of Trial Advocacy. Get someone with over 20 years experience who's a member of the Best Lawyers of America and Indiana Super Lawyers and has achieved the highest possible peer review rating of AV by Martindale Hubbell. Get Gladish. Attorney David Gladish in Highland and his team will deal with the insurance company and its attorneys while you put your life back together. Experience, ratings, and board certification really do matter. Get Gladish. For a free consultation, call 219-838-1900, 838-1900, or visit dgladishlaw.com. That's the letter D, GLADISH law.com.
Not only does Catering by Steve's cater for all occasions, Steve's in Hegewisch has expanded their all-you-can-eat Lenten fish fry on Fridays from 11:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. during Lent. Don't forget trivia every Friday as well. Stop in for some delicious Lenten specials and sample our large selection of craft beers. We also have banquet rooms for your special occasion. Bring your family to enjoy our Easter Sunday brunch on Sunday, April 1st. Call 773-646-1071 to make your reservation. See all we have to offer at CateringBySteve.com, serving the Calumet region since 1958.
What gets you fired up when you think about college? Explore your roar at Purdue University Northwest. With 2 exciting campuses in Hammond and Westville, more than 70 areas of study, and NCAA Division II athletics, Purdue Northwest offers it all at an excellent value. Learn more at pnw.edu and apply today. That's pnw.edu. Join the pride at Purdue Northwest.
Ogren Insurance has been serving the area since 1947 and provides insurance for life, home, auto, business, and more. If you're looking for one-on-one service, the best rates, knowledge, and experience, Ogren Insurance is your agency. Our number one goal is to provide you with the coverage you need at the most competitive price. To learn about the insurance solutions and services we offer in Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan, call 219-933-0076 or see our website, OgrenInsurance.com. Ogren Insurance, 6929 Holman Avenue in Hammond. Accidents happen. Be protected with Ogren Insurance. Knock, knock. Who's there? 717 in the Calumet region. Springtime baseball coming. You guys get it. Softball's on its way. But you're not feeling it today because it's another chillin'. Right now here at the WJOB studios, let's call it 27 degrees. No, 25 degrees now. And that just is not... You can think about baseball, and you can think about softball, and you can think about barbecues in the backyard, but you're just not going to get them. You know what? It is going to warm up today. The sun just came over the buildings across Indianapolis Boulevard here at the Purdue Northwest Commercialization Center, and I'll tell you what, it's a beautiful sunrise. Really not any clouds, just a stark yellow-white sun over the horizon. And I got to believe if you're driving into the east right now, that's a little bit of a problem. Say you're eastbound on the Borman. Mostly sunny and chilly today, and it should, though, in late afternoon get up to about 46 degrees. Friday, tomorrow, you got a sun in the morning and sun early afternoon, and then you'll get some clouds later in the day. And then it'll start to dive on the thermometer. And then by Saturday night, it'll get down into the mid-20s. But Saturday is kind of a tough day. It's kind of a windy day with some possible snow, 1 to 3 inches. Then by Sunday, a high of 45, partly sunny. Monday, a high of 50. A good day to get outside, partial sunshine for these out in practice. Hey, let's take a look at what's going on. By the way, that is brought to you by CertifiedElectrician.com. If you need electrical work done, have a union-based electrician do it for you guys. And let's take a look at traffic. 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west looks pretty good. At Bishop Ford from 103rd on up to 95th is tight. Skyway Toll Road, Borman, I-65 are all moving along well. And that is brought to you by Napleton River Oaks Honda. And speaking of schools, pursue your passion with a degree from Aurora University online. Choose fully online programs in business, computer science, and more. To learn more, visit online.aurora.edu. We're just loaded with sports right now. It's that time of year. And I want to tell Community Healthcare, BP, and NIPSCO are proud to present the Purdue Boilermakers versus Texas Tech on Friday. That I don't have an exact time on the start to that pregame, but I can tell you this, Learfield and the Purdue Basketball Network have done a great job putting together a top-of-the-line pregame show. So if you're just kind of hanging out on Friday, turn the TV off and turn the radio on and listen to Larry Clisby and gang put the pregame show for Purdue's Sweet 16 appearance versus Texas Tech at 8:57. And my dad and I were talking yesterday. Is there an outside chance that I zip to Boston to see that game? Yes, there is. And I was kind of just putzing around, maybe, just maybe. It's at 8 o'clock on the pregame. So you got about 57 minutes of pregame, and it's top of the line. They usually get about a 10-minute interview with Painter. They'll interview one of the coaches. They might even they'll preview Texas Tech. And one of the problems we have is we sent some people to Detroit for the opening round, but if you don't send people at all of the rounds, you don't get the press credentials for the Final Four in San Antonio. So, is there a chance that Purdue gets to the Final Four? I don't know. Yes, but I won't be there because we're not sending anybody to Boston, which is our own fault. And I might change that at the last minute. I'm like, come on, honey, I'm just going to zip out there. And, well, what about this? What about that? We'll see. But they'll be playing Friday night, and I may just get on a plane and go out there, and we'll take the media credential. And if they win, then I'd stay till Sunday. If not, just get a flight back on Saturday morning. All right, there it is. But we're proud to have that, and many of the sports sponsors step forward to sponsor both Purdue and through the NCAA and the high school sectionals. And we're having huge listenership on these games, especially actually on the Illinois side. When we don't run a Purdue basketball game and instead we put a high school game on, our calls are almost exclusively from Illinois. People pissed at that decision. Hey, Ryan Walsh, we have guests here, or do I have guests coming on? No? What's that? They're for Frank. Okay, so we got Frank Mervan at 7:35. So I got about 10 or 15 minutes to catch up on some local news and to talk to you guys, whatever you want to do, 219-845-1100. Don't forget Strachan Van Til's right now. Buy one, get one free on Doritos, tortilla chips, and Jay's potato chips. Let's go to Bill on line 599. Bill!
Hey, can I squeeze something in among all these lawyer ads?
Sure, go ahead.
I mean, if I hear any more of them, I'm going to gag.
You know what? Lawyers are people, too.
Well, that's true. But Jed, I've had this taught to me since dinner at 5 years old. The purpose of the practice of law is the administration of justice and not the accumulation of material wealth. But all this is, they don't care one bit about the administration of justice. They are advertising to achieve wealth.
Well, I mean, look at the other side of that. Everybody in the region can advertise their services. I'm going to play a spot right here from Dr. Andy Colteritis, and we're going to go into Giovanni's, and we're going to go into Jeff Strack and the Carpenters. But then,
we're not selling pizza, Jed.
Yeah, but why can't
this is supposed to be an honored pursuit of the law, and not selling Italian beef sandwiches.
Yeah, but you see, you can't pick and choose who can tell people about their services. Oh, who else should we not? Should we not? Hold on a second. I've got to.
Correct. Some people can choose to do that, and others cannot. You know, they talk about these super lawyers. I think there are 600 of them in Indiana. To me, that means they're not so super, Jed.
I get that, but I think when you get down to it, everybody should have the ability to promote their. Aren't we doing something about a church here also? Should that church not tell people that they exist and that they administer to spiritual needs? I mean, everyone's got to tell people about their services.
Participate in delivering Christ's message because, of course, Christ is in everyone.
I get it. So it's okay for. Let's see. We have Harvest Ridge here is now advertising. And, you know, I'm like, you know what? Good. A church should be, it's a competitive world. Unions should be advertising, and they are. And lawyers should be telling people who they are and what they're doing. And churches should be doing that.
I think the legal profession is a little different, and that's where you and I disagree.
We disagree.
Mr. Gladish and Kevin Smith and all the rest of the self-promoters, and I disagree.
Okay, all right, thank you. We agree to disagree, and that's not the first time, nor will it be the last time with Bill, my friend Bill there. And, you know, speaking of lawyers, I want to thank the Tauber Group. They stepped forward. I called up, and I talked to Tauber, and I said, hey, listen, you need to sponsor the Facebook Living of high school sectional games. And he said, sure. And for the life of me, and this is not a good thing to say about one of your clients, I get Jared and Justin mixed up. So I think it's Jared Tauber, the lawyer, and Justin, the businessman. But Jared said, yeah, you know what, I'll do that. And I don't see anything wrong with that. And I think Gladish is on. Kevin Smith is on. Do we have any other lawyers? Any other lawyers? If you want to piss Bill off, why don't you call us today and get on as an advertiser, just to like stick it to him. How's that sound? Hey, speaking of sticking it to him, there's a couple things I want to cover here locally. First of all, the state police are going to investigate the incredible case of Jackie Sutton. And I'll read out of the Times here. The state police unit specializing in corruption has agreed to probe whether Lake County political attacks launched through a fake Facebook account violated state law. And the state police were asked by Bernie Carter to come in and investigate Jackie Sutton. Now, also involved with that is the current sheriff, Oscar Martinez. So Martinez gives it over to Carter. Carter takes it to the Indiana State Police. And evidently they have this thing called the Indiana State Police Organized Crime and Corruption Section. And they're saying, according to the Times, the Indiana law makes the posting of harmful comments under an assumed name on social media a level 6 felony. You hear that? Indiana law makes the posting of harmful comments under an assumed name on social media a level 6 felony. So what is that? You know, it all stems from this sheriff's race, which is a clown car of just people that are just getting nastier as we go along. And it's going to get nastier. It's also entertaining. But evidently they're saying that there may be some link to the case of Jackie Sutton, who has been putting up. She's been very sly. And I'm giving it a female to it. I don't know why. I just think of Jackie Sutton in my head. And they're saying that there may be a link to Cherville Police Dave Dowling, former Cherville Police Chief Dave Dowling. Maybe a link to the 1960 Trester Award winner and convicted felon, Robert Cantrell. And there might be a link to Gil Gutierrez, who's in the county coroner's office. I got to tell you guys that outside of the general entertainment that I do get from this, and I've told you that I go by the Larry Peterson and Irv Lewin school of just use Lake County politics as entertainment and sport, because if you don't, it becomes it's just kind of disturbing at times. And so I stay with that. But there is, I don't really care who's going after who. I really don't care who the sheriff is, to be honest with you. And but I do care about this. Indiana law makes the posting of harmful comments under an assumed name on social media a level 6 felony. If the Indiana State Police are going to investigate the identity of Jackie Sutton, what's next? When are they going to stop? So if any political rival goes and says, hey, you know what, Indiana State Police, my political rival, it looks like they have a fake Facebook account. You investigated Jackie Sutton. Are you going to investigate Milt Schmidtmakin? Herbie Pudlow's account? How about Grant Dunlap? Huh? You're going to investigate that? Well, you did it here. You're going to have to do it there. So where does that leave the Indiana State Police Organized Crime and Corruption section? Then you're going to go to Bernie Carter and say, hey, listen, you took that to the Indiana State Police. You took Jackie Sutton there. What about Milt Schmidtmakin, Grant Dunlap, Herbie Pudlow? Huh? You better do it there, too. Otherwise, that other one's going to be seen as political. And then what are the other? There's a cascading thing that could be happening from the case of Jackie Sutton. Because now is Bernie Carter going to have to take them all to the Indiana State Police, or is he going to have to set up his own cyber crimes division? I don't know. Doesn't stop. Doesn't stop with one. Now, what's the next part of that? Indiana law makes the posting of harmful comments under an assumed name on social media a level 6 felony. Do any of you have an assumed name? Does anybody have a fake Facebook account or Twitter account? Made something up? What about Region Rat Rants? I love watching those guys, and I don't know. It looks like it's a group of guys, and you kind of know who they are, but it's an assumed name. It's not Herbie Pudlow. It's Region Rat Rants. Are they committing a felony? Are they committing a felony? What about somebody who calls up in a fake name on the radio here? How far does it go, huh? You call up and you say, hey, this is John from Schererville, and you're really Pete from Hammond. Have you committed a felony? If you say something harmful, you say something derogatory towards a politician, how far does this go? Where's this going to lead? I wish she was here today to discuss this with me, but instead she's on the phone. Hey, how you doing, Verly?
I'm great, Jim. How are you?
I'm missing you today.
Oh, I'm sorry. I always miss you. But listen, I figured this out. Is MX on his birth certificate? Do you think it's MX? Was he born MX?
Good question.
Because you know what? That picture of me in that Nazi outfit was very offensive. Not only to me, but to Jewish people and my heritage. So, do you think that I could have Bernie Carter take a look at that?
I think under the current set of ridiculousness that's going on right now, there's a possibility that you could go down there and lay it on Bernie Carter's desk and say, could you have an Indiana State Police investigation into the possible identity of MX, and is this a level 6 felony? There is the possibility there. I don't know if it would hold or stick, or even if it's right, but the way things are going right now, anything's possible.
I'm just considering it because MX is not the birth name, I'm sure, of this individual, and it was very offensive, just like Oscar Martinez being accused of being a member of the KKK, me being accused of being a Nazi was just as offensive. And your hairy fish belly should be just as offensive, too.
You know what? You didn't have to bring that into this discussion. All right, goodbye. You know what? This guy's been doing hairy fish belly things and just ripping me on social media forever. And his name is not MX, is my guess. But he is on line 3, and let's see if he's up for a level 6 felony. MX, how are you? What do you say to that?
Motocross champion. I'll have to go to motocross champion. You know what I'm saying, Jed?
It's not your real name. You're doing some extremely humorous but also offensive things towards people. You've got quite the following on Facebook. You're talented at what you do, but you have offended a lot of people, and that is not your real name. Do you think you're up for a level 6 felony?
No, I think Verley's up for lying. She just got on Facebook, and she's not a member of MX Cartoons, and I don't know who made that meme of her like she's saying. But can we start from the beginning, and then we'll go to the 2 hot topics, CDB oil, and Oscar doesn't believe in free speech? Can we go to way back to the train? Mueller just, you can look any link. Mueller said there is no collusion with President Trump. Maybe Fernando fell asleep on the train during that link. Huh?
You did not address my question. Oscar Martinez and Bernie Carter get together, and then they send it down to the Indiana State Police. Can you guys find out if there's been a crime committed on Jackie Sutton? Verley is saying in a parallel world, that's not your real name, and there is no doubt that you say very, you draw cartoons in a very. So I mean, how
on Facebook, Jed?
How different? That's not your given name, and how different is that from the case of Jackie Sutton? I don't have an answer for that, and I want to know what your answer is to that. That's not your name. It's an assumed name.
What Oscar did, okay, is no different than Hillary Clinton did with the Fisher memo, with the Trump dossier. It seems that I haven't seen any threats coming out of Jackie Sutton, but free speech. Oscar doesn't believe in free speech. He's riding around right now in the Oscar Wienermobile with free speech. He's against free speech.
All right. Hold on a second. I got to cut you off. As fun as much interest there is in this, I got to go. Everybody's calling in, but we have to move on. Thank you. Hey, listen, we have the community programming initiative that typically runs from 8:05 until about 10. It's sold out right now, and Frank Mervan has agreed to come on and move his show around till we find a spot for him at 8 o'clock.